Back to the board, guys. Oh, the epicenter of the whole house was unfortunately usurped by Gage Johnson. He's the one who brought up the plan. Everyone was talking Greg or Steven. I think everyone was okay just doing the normal thing. Like, they don't want to shake anything up. But Gage took a risk. He did something no one else did, and he said, what if? What if we get out Sean? And so, unfortunately, that was the first strike that came his way. The second was a confirmation. Gage proposed it. Melanie confirmed it. All this time, biding her time, she was able to finally have an opportunity. Gage gave her the opportunity. Mel confirmed it. And Kelly was the logistics. So if Gage confirmed it, if Gage proposed it, Mel confirms it, and Kelly works on the logistics. So the four of them are in a room. The fourth one being Haley, but we'll get to that in a second. So the four of them are in a room, and Gage gives the idea. Mel says, yes, let's do it. Kelly says, how do we do it? They end up saying, we need to get 5, maybe 6 people. Haley, do you think you can get Greg? I don't believe so. I don't think I can. So they have to pull Steven over by Gage or Kelly pulling Steven. Steven ends up going with the plan, and Greg was unfortunately not included in the plan. The fourth pillar on this, on why Sean lost, is Haley. So she did not give up the information to Greg. If she would have given the information up to Greg had a blood bond with Sean and Nora. They made the promise, we will keep out for each other this round. I think it was a good move for Haley not to say anything. As much as, we'll get into actually the strategy in a second, because I really do have a little bit of things to say about it. But that was the fourth pillar. Haley did not leak any information. She did not give it to Greg. She did not give it to Sean. She gave it to Nora. And that was the fourth pillar and why Sean was able to lose. Gage, Kelly, Melanie, and Haley are to credit. Steven, to a lesser extent, followed the plan. Bryson knew what was going on. He said, Sean's in trouble, and he's not even included in the plan. The fact that Sean and Nora trusted conniving people. I mean, you knew they were conniving. You worked with them. And unfortunately, that was your downfall. That was the downfall of Sean Moore. Welcome to the Big Brother Strategy Talk. I implore you to please stay. I really think this could encourage you in how to be a better Big Brother player. And it's just something I think is very interesting. The reason why I love Big Brother is not because of the drama, as much as it might look like it. It's not because of the drama, I promise. It's really because of the strategy, about the things that happen in the game. The reason why I fell in love with Big Brother is you get to see the fruits of your labor. So in my real life, right? I can do things and I can say certain things and do certain stuff, but I will never see how that affected people's lives sometimes. I mean, it's not just sometimes I won't see that. And so it's kind of interesting, how am I socially? How would I be, how much influence do I carry? How am I perceived by people? And so having this game is a quantifiable experience. You get to see what you're made out of. I'm squeezing you and I want to see what comes out. And that's why I love the game and I've always wanted to be in it. I want to see what comes out, right? And so I want to talk about what makes a good and a bad Big Brother player. What makes a bad Big Brother player? Indifference. I'm sure you could guess that. If you don't care, you won't get anywhere. All right? If you're just coasting and you're cruising, if you're drifting, you will never drift to the top of the mountain. That just doesn't happen. You will never get to the top of the mountain if you're drifting. And so indifference is a killer in the Big Brother game. And I know, it's most people who were indifferent in the game probably won't change that, but it's fine. It's just something that if you don't have that, you might be a better Big Brother player. Another negative thing is indecision. Indecision. If you can't make up your mind, how can I rely on you? If you're on the fence all the time, like I can't trust you. You need to make a decision. If you are a double-minded man, you are unstable in all your ways. That's some scripture for you. I feel like not a lot of people were very indecisive, but were perceived to be indecisive, or perceived to, people didn't know what they wanted to do. And that's not the same as indecision, but it kind of falls under the same category of you need to pick a lane. What are you doing? Okay. Another thing, doubt and worry in regards to trust. Okay. If I can't, this is kind of a two-way street. If I can't trust someone, okay, let me reset. You need to trust people, okay? If you spend the whole time doubting and worrying, will these people betray me? I can't use these people. These people are against me. I can't do. Your worries and your doubts will lead you to places you can't go, right? If I can't trust any one of y'all, I guess I just won't use any one of y'all to get a vote. That is not good. Having the doubt and the worry in people will make you overcautious. And when you're overcautious, you won't take any risks. But you stepping in this house was a risk. Everything you're doing is risky. Stop doubting and worrying people. Yes, have a healthy dose of suspicion. But if you aren't doing anything because you're overcautious, you're thinking about these things. What you're thinking will come to pass. What a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If another way that we say it in Big Brother is perception is reality. If we'll go to Greg and Haley here. Greg and Haley, because they perceived each other to be untrustworthy, what happened? They become untrustworthy to each other. What they are thinking becomes reality. So Haley had the opportunity to get Greg in on the vote. But because the perception in her mind is, I can't trust him, it has now become reality. And we actually see what happens. She doesn't tell him. And what happens is, during the tribal council, we all have a plan. Greg says, I don't have a plan. Haley says, you know the plan. Greg says, okay. And he trusts her. I will go on the plan that you made forth. I am going Stephen. But she didn't update him on the new plan. And her untrust in him has now become a reality. He votes Stephen, says, this will show the true colors. And unfortunately, it wasn't her true colors. She really was with him. She just couldn't trust him in this vote. So it's very interesting. There's so much in this. I wish I could chef's kiss so many times that it'd be annoying. But what ended up happening was he couldn't trust her anymore. You lied to me this vote. You told me we got a plan and I went with the plan. That didn't happen. You did not include me. How can I trust you? So there's some part in Haley, but there's also some part in Greg. Once you've gotten burned, get burned again. I don't care if you get burned 3 times. If you don't fail, you are not trying. Fail and fail and fail again. If you don't fail, you aren't trying. I hate to go back to Haley on this, but she went to Sean, says Noah needs to get out. Humongous fail. Sean takes it back to Noah. They become mortal enemies, which, sorry to give a little spoiler, but I think you could see it at the end of the video, but they become a little bit of mortal enemies. She failed, but you know what she did? She tried. And there's 2 things to be good at Big Brother. You need to be active, and you need to have wisdom. I saw a lot of people who had one and not the other. People were active, but they weren't thinking about what they were doing. Some people were thinking about what they were doing and they weren't active. I'm just a coach. This is simple, but this ain't easy. What I'm telling you may be simple. This ain't easy. I'm just a coach here, okay? One last thing I want to get to before I let you go. I'll let you go. To get something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And we see that with Gage. Gage is getting his way down to the bottom of the totem pole. Haley says it. Gage is losing ground. To get something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. And he takes his first shot, betrays someone. Takes out Sean. Come on, guys. You are. I hope you're not sleeping right now. This is good work, okay? I get excited about this kind of. It's quantifiable. You see the results of people's actions. It doesn't get better than that for me. If you don't jump, how will you get to the conclusion? Jump to your conclusions. Jump to your conclusions. If you don't jump, you won't get to the conclusion. If you improve yourself, you won't have to prove yourself. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Ezekiel Salazar, episode 3. I'll see you in episode 4. Thank y'all.